I want to give you guys the 3 key steps to escaping the American rat race and moving here to Vietnam. Right now I'm in District 2 overlooking the Saigon River. You can see the Saigon skyline out here. It's actually quite a beautiful view from here. But if you're watching this video, you probably want to restart or reset your life in some way. And you're probably thinking, I kind of want to get out of America and maybe move somewhere different, specifically Vietnam. I want to give you a few things that I think are going to help you on that journey. You're looking for a big change in your life, and the first step is be open to that big change. If you're coming here from the US, coming to Vietnam, it's a completely different country. There are completely different rules here. One of the things, like crossing the street right now, is be very careful. We've got to go, put our arm up, safely across. Big change here in Vietnam. Be open to that change. I think that's the main thing in terms of moving anywhere new, is being open to the different sights and sounds of things. You're not seeing grilled meats like this on the street in America. Ciao, ciao, mọi người. You're not seeing things like when I first moved here, the smell of fried fish sauce, which is a very pungent smell. Honestly, to an American, doesn't really smell very good. It smells like, I don't know about that. Don't begroan those changes, those sorts of differences. Instead, try to celebrate them. Try to look at all these new things as the adventure. Hello. Ciao mọi người. Hello. Hello. Try to look at all these things as part of the adventure. They're these differences, right? Even this different neighborhood where I'm walking through an alley and you got these tightly packed houses and all the wires up here kind of jumbled together. Very different, right? But if it's the difference that you're looking for and it's the big change in your life and the reset and the restart that you want, embrace that, celebrate it, don't fight it. That's what you're here for. Remember that you're here to adapt to a new way of life. You're moving to a different country with different customs, a different set of rules, and the burden's on you to adapt and to change your lifestyle. But if you're looking for that big change and you're open to that big change, then that transition is going to be a lot easier for you. Some of the stuff might legitimately just freak you out. You might see a person towing an entire laundry machine or a washing machine on the back of a motorbike. You might see you might see people selling raw meat, like raw pork, out in a wet market. I definitely saw all of those things when I first came here, and I actually have a vivid memory of when I was walking down this street called Wang Chum Street in Gò Vấp district, and I passed by this little restaurant, this little Wang Da Wang, and they were selling, I think it was gà chiên nước mắm, like fried chicken with fish sauce. And when I smelled that, I was like, ugh, what is that? But I remembered the Graham Greene quote. If you ever read the book The Quiet American, he says something in that book. He says, the smell, he's talking about Vietnam, the smell, that's the first thing that hits you. Promising everything in return for your soul. You give it up, right? You make those changes, you adapt in that way, and you prepare yourself for that big change in your life. And that's the first key step to moving out here and having a great time. I'll tell you another story. When I first came here, and the first night I was here, I learned how to say 1, 2, 3 in Vietnamese. How do we say 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3 là 1, 2, 3. Come on. 1, 2, 3 yo. Come on. So that's how I learned it. It was from drinking with the local. Đi nhậu với các bạn Việt Nam. I was drinking with the locals, and I learned how to say 1, 2, 3 on my first day here. So it's just sort of that adaptability, coming here, being open for the change, being excited about it. And I think if you're watching this video, you're ready for it, and it's something that you're definitely interested in. So don't put your toes in the water. Don't test out the shallow end and see if the water's okay. Dive in the deep end. Where does this motivation come from? Where does this desire for big change come from? I think it can come from a variety of reasons for a variety of different people, but I can tell you my experience. And for me, it was a general dissatisfaction with living in America, the pursuit of material possessions, trying basically to keep up with the Joneses, working very long hours just to scrape by, right? Just to be able to afford rent, barely afford food, and then try to buy some things that made me feel like, oh, I'm doing as well as my peers. After a while, I became just very sad, really. That's the most simple word, is sad. I became very sad. So that's what helped me prepare for the big change. But the big change can be for whatever reason you want it to be for. The most important thing is that you're ready for it, you're open for it, and you're willing to adapt to the things that you need to adapt to. There will be sort of a honeymoon phase as well with any place or with anything in life. When you get here, maybe you're 7 months in, everything's not quite as new or fresh anymore, but it's still, I've been here 7 years now. There's still a beautiful place in Vietnam I've never been, like Sapa or Phu Quoc. And those are places and things like everyday life that I can sort of marvel at because it's so much different from the life that I came from. What that does is it fosters that sense of adventure, and it fulfills that desire for something very different that I had, that I think is a prerequisite for a happy life out here. For more specifics about why I love Vietnam, I'll link 2 videos below that detail like my top 10 reasons why I love this place. But overall, the message of this rule number 1, be open for a change, is when people are on their deathbeds, the number 1 thing they regret is not the things they've done, but the things that they were too afraid to try. Cô ơi, cô có bán nước mía không? Rồi, lấy một ly nhỏ. Ly nhỏ mỗi ngàn đúng không? À ok, chào chị. Lấy một ly nước mía. Đúng rồi, ly nhỏ. Cảm ơn. So we're getting ourselves a small glass of sugarcane juice. It's hot out here. It's like 8:15, but it's already hot. So get the sugarcane in there, make the juice, and then enjoy that. 10,000 Vietnam dong for that, so 35, 40 cents. So these people are eating their cháo lòng, which is hello, the intestine porridge, which is actually very good, but also a very different dish. By the way, let's try some of this nước mía out. Very good, very tasty sugarcane juice. One of my favorite drinks here in Vietnam. Key number 2 to making the move to Vietnam, to escaping the rat race in America. Get rid of your things. Get rid of the things you don't need. What I mean by that is, if you have something, let's say you haven't used it for a year, you haven't used it for 6 months, 3 months, even 1 month. If you're still holding on to that thing, that's sort of like an anchor, that material possession. And I think that touches on that sort of idea of the accumulation of material possessions as being a priority in America. For a lot of people, it is a priority. Not only is it a priority, but it's a symbol of, I don't know, somewhat successful life or somewhat validated life, or essentially those things are an anchor. They're weighing you down. I'm not saying get rid of your phone, get rid of your laptop, get rid of your wallet or things like that. Those are essential items. Get rid of your toothbrush, don't do that. But if you have a big old mirror in your garage that you're not using, gone. You got a big old box of clothes with big jackets that you never wear, donate that to Goodwill. And then if you can, as much as you can, if you have items of value, try to sell those things. Get a little bit of money and prepare for the next key step of moving here to Vietnam. If you're liking this video, guys, click the like button, subscribe to the channel to support the growth. It really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. I do want to add that personally, I have all my possessions down to a single carry-on suitcase and a backpack. That's all I got. I think that's the extreme, right? And I don't think that's a necessity to making the move out here. But personally for me, it feels like I'm always ready to be on the go. Got my clothes, got my essentials, have what I need. And I think the idea is just to try to kind of scrutinize, do I really need this thing? Is this thing really an essential item for my life, or is it something that I can get rid of, possibly sell, or something that's kind of holding me back from going the places that I want to go and doing the things that I want to do? A little bit of the scene here. Hello. He's selling some ducks here. 140,000 for a duck, which is about $6. So you get yourself a whole duck for $6. But yeah, cost of living here. I think I've gone over this. Chào chị. I think I've gone over this a little bit. The cost of living here is very ideal. Things are not expensive. As you saw, I paid 40 cents for this drink. Inexpensive. Key number 3, saving enough money to get out here and then figuring out a source of income once you're here. Personally, I think $5,000 is a good amount of money to be able to come out here, have enough of a runway where you're like, okay, I've got enough money to get an apartment, I've got enough money for a security deposit, got enough money to do a little bit of traveling if I want to go around the country to see different cities that maybe I want to live in. It's enough money to basically say, okay, I don't need to start working right away. But you do want to figure out a source of income, right? The most traditional source of income here in Vietnam for foreign people is to teach English. Teaching English. Chào con. Hello. Hello, con khỏe không? Chào chú. Chú uống gì à?
Cà phê.
À,
đây là trà đá rồi.
Trà đá. À, ok. Trà đá ngon không?
Trà đá là cho nó mát thôi.
Ok. Trà đá bên tương à?
Dọc chơi hả?
À, dạ. Mình đi chơi, đi quay phim mà.
Nước nào?
À, nước nào hả? Nước, nước Mỹ á.
À, Mỹ hả? Đi con mình hả? Đi vô chỗ kia bắt cóc á. Ủa mấy em rồi chết luôn á.
Con không hiểu. không nói tiếng Việt à. Trời. I don't know what they're saying, to be honest with you. I think he's joking around. I think it's fun, but I don't know. Hopefully it's nice. We'll leave it in the video. I asked him what he was drinking. He said iced tea. And then he asked me, he asked me what country I was from. I said America. Escaping that American rat race. You got to figure out a source of income. The most traditional source of income for foreigners here in Vietnam is to teach English. Teaching English is a great job. It pays very well here in terms of the income to cost of living ratio. So basically you can make about, I'd say $1,200 to $2,000 monthly as a foreign English teacher here. And your cost of living should be about $1,200 or less. It could be more depending on your spending habits. It could be a lot less depending on your spending habits. This is interesting, by the way. Little aside. I like this little alley. I've heard of some people making $700 a month work for them. I think that's very low, but I guess that's possible. But for me personally, it's about $1,200 a month. And I'm not really like pinching pennies or worrying about if I can go out and do this or do that. So if you are an English teacher here, the income to cost of living ratio is really ideal. And that's a very straightforward way to make money here. If you are looking for a less traditional way, you could look into starting a business, or you could look into working for a corporation that's already established here that can provide you a job that can set you up to live out here. Those last two options of starting a business or working for a corporation, I'm not an expert on those things, so I'd refer you to other YouTube channels to get more information on that. But if you're interested in the English teaching route, that is something I can provide you with detailed advice on. So feel free to message me directly on Instagram. I also have a service where if you want, we can book an hour-long conversation where I can talk to you about any sorts of questions you have about Vietnam, traveling abroad, moving abroad, so we can set things like that up. Those are the ways where you can come out here, make the amount of money that you need to have to live. One of the keys to escaping the American rat race. Overall, the point of this video is to reach out to those of you who are feeling that sense of drudgery, that sense of I'm just not happy where I'm at and I want a new adventure and I want to restart, I want to reset. And this video lays out a few key steps, and mainly it's here to tell you that you can do these things. They're definitely possible. This is just not something you'd see in America. A little chicken coop here along a little, I don't know, river community. But I'm here for it. I hope this video gives you some inspiration, a little bit of hope that you can do these things. And it starts with those three simple things. Number one, be willing to make the change. Number two, be okay with getting rid of that stuff you don't need. And number three, set yourself up financially to make the big move. Hello, how are you? Chào chú. Chú tên gì?
Tên Hóa.
Hoa.
Hóa.
Hoa.
Hóa. Dương Hóa. Dương Hóa.
Chào chú Dương Hóa.
Dương Hóa.
Cô tên gì? Thí. Thủy à. Chào cô Thủy à. Cô Thủy đang bán hà cảo à. Okay. So she's a cảm ơn nha. Cảm ơn nha, cảm ơn rất nhiều. Cảm ơn chú cô. Yeah. Thank you very much. Cô bỏ rác giùm con được không? Cảm ơn nha. So I bought some dumplings here, a little extra bonus special footage. She's selling dumplings in there, 5K a piece. I got 4, so that's about 80 cents. Rồi xíu, chưa trả tiền. 20 đề à? Cảm ơn nha. Ok, bye bye. Chào mọi người, bye bye. Okay. So, very friendly people here in Vietnam, as always. I got these mainly for Trang. I'm not really hungry, but I think she will appreciate a little bit of breakfast. Yeah, a little bit of sauce in there. That was a little extra special bonus footage for you. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to say, if you're worried about making the move, or you're thinking it's so big, it's so scary, you can do it. You can make the big change, and you're not going to regret doing it. I've almost never heard someone regret saying that they moved here to Vietnam. And if you ever want to move back to your hometown is always going to be there. So you can always go back. And if nothing else, you experience something new. I hope this video gave you some inspiration. I hope it gave you some courage to make the big change, to escape the rat race with those first 3 key steps: being open to big change and being willing to adapt, being willing to get rid of the unnecessary material things that you have now, and setting yourself up financially to get here. You can always reach out to me on Instagram, leave me a comment. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. I hope you liked this vlog. If you did like it, click the like button, subscribe to the channel to support the growth, leave any comments. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear from you all, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Peace.